Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Martin Bolter, and over the coming weeks and months I'm going to be putting content out there to do with AutoCAD 2020 and Inventor 2020. So welcome to my first Inventor 2020 tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look back at how we created a simple box, shelled out the actual box and then created a work plane on it for us to then build a return flange. I'm going to show you one way. There is multiple different ways of doing this, but I'll just show you this basic simple way. And we are going to also make this fully parametric and constrained so that we can then size this to whatever we want from there. And we're also going to look at how we utilize the model tree down the left hand side of the screen here to keep track of what's going on in our model itself. So let's jump straight on in, and we're going to create a two-dimensional drawing on the plane. Don't forget to revolve round so that horizontal is horizontal and vertical is vertical. And we're going to create a simple box around the center point, at which, once we've completed it, we're going to then use the vertical constraint, finding that midpoint and then constraining it to the center of the axis. We'll do the same with the horizontal plane, find the midpoint and then constrain it to the center of the axis. We're now going to dimension the width, and I'm going to use the parameter width equals, and then I'm going to add the width that I want. Do the same with the height, and I'm going to call this height equals, and add the parameter, the length that I want there. Once we've done this, we can finish the sketch, and then we can extrude the sketch. It will, as it's only got one actual sketch there, it knows that it's going to extrude it, and we're going to extrude it to a depth equals, and then again the depth that you want to extrude it to. Click OK, and there we have the extruded box. We're now going to shell the box out. We're going to shell the interior of the box out, and we're going to shell it out to a skin thickness, or SKN_THK for my abbreviation, and we were going to give it a skin thickness of 2 mm, which was what our 3D printer is good for a thickness. We're now going to create a work plane across the top, and we're going to select the two outside edges to create this work plane. And then we're going to create another two-dimensional drawing on this work plane. And the first thing we're going to do is project all the inside edges through onto that work plane, and then we can offset them to a random measurement. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to dimension that offset, and we're going to call it flange, because this is going to be our internal flange. So flange equals, we're going for 6 mm. We can finish that sketch, and we can extrude that flange section. We're going to invert the direction. We're going to select from the list of parameters our skin thickness, so it's the same, and then we'll click OK. So we're now going to do another two-dimensional sketch on that surface, and this time we're going to project the outside edges and project that geometry through to that plane. This is going to give us our lid. So we'll finish that sketch, and we can extrude the lid. It's extruding the right way, but this time we're going to create it as a new solid, and we're going to give it the same parameter of the skin thickness. Click OK. So we're going to turn off the original box solid. So we're going to turn the visibility off, and then we'll rotate round
to have a look at underneath, because we're going to use the direct function and push the surface back by this 0.25 of a mil using that little golden arrow, and then we will create the parameter gap equals minus 0.25, sorry 0.2, because that's the gap that our 3D printer needs. We'll use a little cross there to cancel that because we've done that, and we will make the box visible again and just check to see that we've got a little gap running through the whole lot. We're going to make this sketch, the original flange offset sketch, visible, and we're going to edit this because we're now going to create the path for our O-ring to sit in. So we're going to offset the inside measurement, any random measurement, because then we're going to dimension it as half the width of the flange, and we can select the measurement from over here, divide by 2 and click OK, and that will then be always half the distance in from the flange. We're going to put some radiuses around the corners so that the O-ring's got a bit more of a chance of sitting round. So we're going to put a 5mm radius on all of the corners that the path for the O-ring will sit. We'll finish that sketch, and we're going to hide now the lid, so we're going to turn off its visibility. It will help us with working on this sketch. We're going to make the mid-plane visible because we're going to start a drawing or start a sketch on that plane. We'll come down the bottom and we're going to section it using the little button down the bottom, which will give us this section view. And I'm just going to rotate around the view so I've got a view of all the lines, and I'm going to project the path so that I can pick up the center point on the edge there so that I can draw the circle, which is the... I'm going to give the radius of the circle 2mm. Now we're ready to sweep this circle around the path. So we'll select the sweep, and we're going to first select the actual circle, then we'll come across and we'll select the path, and then we'll actually select the path that we want it to travel. We're going to use the cut function so that it cuts out. I'll switch back on the lid, make that visible, and now I'm going to edit the sweep, and I'm going to then add the second solid in so that we've now got the lid with the cut of the O-ring running in it. I'm just going to double check using the view and the half section view. So I'll just check the one end, push the little golden arrow back, everything looks fine, click the red cross, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side just to make sure that's happy. All looks fine there. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the lid off and switch the visibility of the lid off because I'm going to check it for its parametric. So I'll switch off the other drawings and the sketches in the planes, and I'm going to click the FX function button, which will give us all the measurements, and I'm just going to change the length by a few millimeters, and I'll change the width by a few millimeters as well. Just make sure everything goes in the right direction so it makes sure it's parametric. Switch the lid back on to double check that, and there we have it. We've checked it, it is parametric, it is moving with the measurements. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more content to do with AutoCAD 2020 and Inventor 2020. If you've liked what you've watched and it's worked for you, hit that like button, and also add any comments for any future content you want to see.
and I'll try and put something together for you. Thank you very much for watching.